My life didn't fall apart in a single moment. It was a slow unraveling, tiny choices, day after day, pulling at the threads of who I was. I didn't notice at first. I was just living, wondering why everything felt faded and weak. One day, I realized I was a stranger in my own life, surrounded by consequences I barely remembered choosing. The most dangerous downfalls are quiet. They don't announce themselves, they just become the way things are. I blamed circumstances, thinking this was just my lot in life. That belief was comforting. It let me off the hook. But the truth, my daily habits were quietly steering me away from the life I wanted. The world I built wasn't a prison made by others, it was a maze I designed, one excuse and toxic habit at a time. I wandered it, blaming the architect, not realizing I was looking in a mirror. These patterns felt so familiar, I thought they were me. But they were just layers I'd built to avoid discomfort. The first step wasn't tearing down the walls, it was finally seeing them for what they were. That's where change began. For years, I lived as a supporting actor in my own story, blaming others for my disappointments. If a project failed, it was my team. If a friendship faded, it was the other person. If I felt stuck, it was the world's fault. Blame was my shield. It protected me from the truth. Played a role in my own unhappiness. Pointing outward made me a victim, and victims get sympathy. Pointing inward meant accountability and work. If only became my mantra. If only things were different, I'd finally act. But the universe doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It responds to action, not complaints. Blame is a cage disguised as a throne. You feel powerful, but you're trapped. Your happiness in someone else's hands. I was waiting for a ride that would never come, not realizing I held the keys. The realization was heavy, but freeing. I was responsible for my own life. The shift was gradual, a quiet question. What is your part in this? At first, I resisted. But the question kept returning, softer and clearer. My excuses grew heavier than the truth. I was tired of waiting. Tired of blaming, tired of feeling powerless. I was ready to pick up the keys. That's when things began to change. To change, I had to see my habits for what they were. Overthinking was my first chain, endless analysis that left me too exhausted to act. Avoidance was the next. I'd distract myself with chores or scrolling, anything to dodge discomfort. It wasn't laziness, it was fear. Fear of failing, of being judged, of not being enough. Each avoidance was a vote for the belief that I couldn't handle life. The third chain was passive consumption. I'd binge motivation, videos, podcasts, books, feeling inspired but never moving. Inspiration became the goal, not action. I had a library of knowledge, but I never applied it. These habits, overthinking, avoidance, passive consumption, formed an invisible prison. They gave the illusion of progress, but kept me stuck. Naming them was the first act of freedom. I could finally see the bars of my own cage. There was no dramatic turning point, just a quiet Tuesday, scrolling through videos, feeling stuck. In that stillness, a simple thought surfaced. This isn't working. No anger, no shame, just honesty. My way of coping wasn't producing the life I wanted. The blame and excuses fell away, leaving only the truth of my choices. I didn't feel a surge of motivation, I just felt an invitation to do one small thing differently. I picked the smallest task, replying to an email I'd avoided for days. No overthinking, no planning. I just did it. The world didn't change, but something inside me did. I'd closed the gap between intention and action, even by a millimeter. That tiny act was the turning point. It wasn't about the email, it was about proving I could choose differently. Transformation begins with moving one small stone. After that small win, I didn't try to change everything overnight. My goal, just be 1% better than yesterday. Instead of conquering overthinking, I shortened the time between idea and action. Instead of eliminating avoidance, I tackled one dreaded task first thing. I limited motivation videos and used the time to actually do something. These actions weren't impressive or shareable. They were quiet, consistent, and for me alone. Some days I slipped back, but the 1% mindset meant a bad day wasn't failure. It was just data. Progress wasn't a straight line, but the overall direction was forward. Each small promise kept was a vote for the person I wanted to become. I rebuilt self-trust, not for others but for myself. The external results were slow, but the internal shift was profound. I stopped waiting for motivation. I generated it, one honest action at a time. That's how real change began. If I've learned anything, it's this. You are not broken. The habits that hold you back aren't flaws. They're old strategies that no longer serve you. You're not a machine to fix, but a person who can learn a new way. Change doesn't require drama or clarity, just quiet honesty with yourself. What's one small thing you're avoiding? One action you can take right now. Progress isn't perfection. It's steady, honest, and often invisible. Every small act is a declaration of your power. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment. You can begin now, with one conscious choice. The person you want to be isn't someone to find. It's someone you create, one step at a time. The journey out of toxic habits is patient and compassionate. You are not broken. You are beautifully becoming, and you can start today.